Welcome back to the C Block, or final section of this week's Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm PCM TV founder Jimmy Young, filling in for Elena Pinto, who is on assignment in Quebec this weekend. Now, a reminder, if you want to follow our weekly news show and get access to our documentation of the fight to end cannabis prohibition over the past 4 years in this country, including the green rush and the market correction in the industry, as far as investment capital is concerned, you can go to our, take our QR code and go to the App Store or Google Play. And of course, you too can sign up and get that downloadable app. Meanwhile, Doug Miller is keeping his eye high on Wall Street of all the publicly traded stocks. And we'll also hear from Pam Chmiel from New York and a sign of normalcy from Broadway.
This is Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Pam Chmiel reporting from New York. Chime & Chill, a New York-based hemp wellness company, is making history as the first to introduce Spanish language packaging to its tincture and skincare product line. In a press release, the Latino-owned brand stated, "As a Latino-owned company, we understand the importance of Spanish translation in reaching and empowering underserved communities." Their products are now available in dispensaries across Spanish-speaking neighborhoods. And Green Thumb Industries may be getting into the concert business. CEO Ben Kovler recently appointed legendary New York music entrepreneur Peter Shapiro to the company's board of directors. Shapiro, known for producing acclaimed festivals and owning iconic New York City music venues, brings deep industry experience to the table. He shared his excitement, saying, "I'm honored that Ben has asked me to join the board, and I look forward to helping unlock new opportunities for the company and its brands during this exciting time." And finally, the travel agency, a New York dispensary, has just made Broadway history by becoming the first cannabis business to advertise in Playbill, the iconic theater magazine that's given to every audience member. The ad reads, "Experience a matinee for your mind." The ad also coincides with the opening of the dispensary's third location in New York City's Theater District. That's this week's Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Pam Chmiel reporting from New York.
I'm Doug Miller from High on Wall Street with this week's Cannabis Stock Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. The U.S. Senate Banking Committee had a hearing on February 5th, and it was supposed to focus on the impacts of debanking on federally legal businesses and their workers, and whether there was improper influence by federal financial regulators. But that didn't stop committee members and one witness from calling the attention to ongoing banking issues on the state legal cannabis businesses. Senator Elizabeth Warren, she urged further investigation into the issue, arguing that it shouldn't be happening. After the hearing, the U.S. stock saw significant gains in an apparent reaction. So let's take a look at the ETF MSOS and see how that chart looks. It did pop up right after the hearing, but it started to pull back as the reaction settled in. It is setting up, so I'll be keeping an eye on the cannabis stocks to see exactly what they want to do. So trade smart and lock in those profits. And that's this week's Cannabis Stock Report. Reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast News, I'm Doug Miller.
I'm Amie Carter with Michigan Weedsters, bringing you this week's Michigan Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. First up, the Michigan Cannabis Regulatory Agency has announced a voluntary recall of various flavors of Platinum Vape branded vape cartridges due to the presence of MCT oil, a potentially harmful diluting agent. This marks the first recall since the CRA implemented testing requirements for MCT oil in October. CRA Executive Director Brian Hanna expressed appreciation for the collaboration between our WB Michigan testing labs and the CRA staff to ensure the safety of consumers. However, many are questioning why the issue only surfaced now despite prior awareness. The CRA has put unsold recalled products on hold, blocking their sale but not ordering destruction. In other news, a federal court jury has awarded Michigan cannabis grower Hello Farms $32 million in damages after finding that Curaleaf, the largest cannabis company in the U.S., breached its purchase agreement. This ruling fouls nearly 4 years of legal battles over Curaleaf's failure to honor a contract to buy thousands of pounds of Hello Farms cannabis, citing falling market prices. The jury's decision underscores the ongoing challenges in the evolving cannabis market. Additionally, PencAnna has announced the temporary closure of its greenhouse operation, leading to layoffs. While specific numbers are not yet available, the Pinconning Township-based company cites challenging market conditions in Michigan's cannabis industry as the reason for this decision. PencAnna assures that their retail and processing operations will remain unaffected, and they aim to rehire affected employees when the market improves. And don't forget to mark your calendars for Hash Bash on April 5th. That's it for this week. In Michigan, I'm Amie Carter with Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Welcome back to Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I am PCM TV founder Jimmy Young, and we're so proud to be bringing in a gentleman I have a lot of respect for from the great state of Ohio. His name is Tim Johnson. He has a great background in law enforcement training, and he had a career in all that, and now he is a lobbyist in Ohio and a cannabis advocate. Tim, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy, for having me back, and go Buckeyes, OH.
I knew I was going to kind of throw that in, but I decided to let you be the cheerleader on that one. Anyway, lots going on in the state of Ohio. The market has opened. The adult use market is open. There are now, it's all legal. But man, are there issues there that they're trying to now change in that legislature? Something I remember when we talked, you predicted that once this law gets into place, the people that are in charge of the politics of Ohio, the Ohio legislature, are going to do the best they can to change it up. And that's what's going on now. Are you fearful that this is going to change what is already an existing market?
Well, first I'll say this. We offered them a participation trophy in this, but they decided that they wanted the gold medal. So that would be the GOP leadership. They're the pushback in this. I think once it's all done and said, I believe that people, the cannabis industry, the license holders, and the cannabis community, the consumers and patients, I think will come out ahead on this with what they're trying to do. The Senate Bill 56 is the problem right now, and really all it is a redundant duplicate of what Issue 2 currently, Jim Canepa, our Director of Division of Cannabis Control, is doing a fantastic job on promulgating the new rule packages. And we're still in the process of doing that. So, some of the examples that we're seeing in this redundant Senate Bill 56 is the fact of you have to have child-resistant, non-attractive packaging. Well, we've had that since 2018. It's already in the books. There's other things in there that just make no sense that they're already in place. They made, the senator that introduced it made a comment of, well, we don't want to be sitting at the ballpark watching our 9-year-old kid play ball while the people sitting next to us with our other children are smoking a joint. Well, that's already in the book, sir. That's already a law. You can't smoke in public, and we wouldn't do that. I guess that's the dumbing down of those who resist this. They don't understand the cannabis community as a whole. We're very respectful to society. We're very respectful to ourselves, our own missions and so forth. But when you get this a committee chairperson on this Senate General Government, she is Christine Rovner. She could be a good senator, but when you make a statement that it's our obligation as this Senate committee to put safe parameters in place for what 2.2 million people in Ohio voted for. It's, I'm looking at them, I'm saying, well, who are you using for experts to put this in place? Because the experts are all sitting out here in the audience and we're contesting what you're saying. So you're talking political jargon that really means nothing other than, you want to have your way. So there's going to be a lot, I think, we're rallying now. We got many calls to actions going on. The advocates are working. We've got the lobby day coming up. Nearly every cannabis event we're having right now. There's 2 of them this weekend. It's all about 56. And then, of course, Wednesday, they dropped the new hemp bill, Senate Bill 86. But I think we'll fare pretty well in the end when it's all said and done. Of course, it'll continue. Next year there'll be something else introduced, and the year after, just like we are with our medical program, 6 years into it, and they're still introducing language. Well, I am anyways, trying to fix that and correct it.
That entire interview with Tim Johnson and myself will be available on demand after Thursday on our PCM TV app and website. Now, next week in Baltimore, Maryland, there's a big leadership conference that was founded by the Women's Grow Network. Women's Grow is the largest network of women in the cannabis and hemp industries, and this leadership conference is part of their mission to empower women to succeed and lead in the cannabis industry. Our own New Jersey correspondent, Jill Goldsberry, has more on this event in Baltimore, Maryland over February 17th and 18th.
Welcome to Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Jill Goldsberry with your New Jersey reports. And here's what's going on in New Jersey. It's a snow day, hence the hat. And today we are highlighting a really important event that I hope that y'all will be able to attend. It is a Women Grow 2025 Leadership Summit happening on February 17th through the 18th at the Gaylord National Convention Center in Maryland, just off in the National Harbor area of Maryland. And this year's summit is literally a call to action for women's fundamental and the right to use cannabis as medicine. And we all know that that is very important. This year's keynote speaker is Brittany Griner, who has been an advocate and speaker about cannabis and its policies. Representing New Jersey at this event will be Precious Osagie, founder of Precious Cannabis pre-roll company. I'm sure you all know it. You can find it at many of the dispensaries in New Jersey. She will be on hand discussing investing in the cannabis industry, a crucial conversation as businesses navigate this evolving market. So key industry leaders, entrepreneurs will all be on hand. For more information on the Leadership Summit at Women Grow, go to womengrow.com for more information. I am Jill Goldsberry for the New Jersey Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News, and I will see you at the next report.
Amazingly, Jill did a report on the Women's Grow event, and on Friday, I got a chance to talk to the CEO of Women's Grow, Dr. Chanda Macias.
Women Grow is so important because we empower each other through our resources, through our spirit, through our character, and we inspire each other and support each other to go out there and fight for our businesses, for our health rights, and also for our political views. And all of that means something more. It means the survival of our industry. And as you know, Jimmy, right now, our industry is under attack. The 280Es taking businesses down. Healthcare rights are being revoked. You also see how the government promises have changed overnight. And we need to come together, and we are coming together to fight all things, because you know what? Women get stuff done, and we are ready, and we will come together with our call of action and figure out how we're going to thrive in this industry.
Okay, I'll admit it, Elena Pinto does a much better job than I do of anchoring our news. But I got to admit, I love digging up some stories that I had never heard of before, including this next one that we're going to leave you with as the final story on Cannabis Coast to Coast News. It's about a scientist in Brazil who's made a discovery about a plant that hasn't even been reviewed yet by peers. However, Dr. Rodrigo Moura Neto has been able to extract cannabidiol, or CBD, from another plant that is not the cannabis sativa plant. In fact, it grows wild in northern South America, Central America, and in Mexico. The plant, we'll call it Trema for short, because it's a very long name, so we'll call it Trema. And it gives this shrub an opportunity to open up an entire international market. Now, it has nothing to do with cannabis sativa, but it has CBD, a cannabinoid, in it. Now, you do understand that cannabis is still illegal in Brazil, but this shrub is fair game. And it's not just growing wild in Brazil. Check out the map of where this plant grows all over Central America, Northern South America, Mexico, and look, at the far right, above the U.S. Virgin Islands, there's a peninsula there. I think that is Florida. That's right, the state of Florida grows trema wild, and you can get CBD out of it, at least according to this doctor. You know, God works in very mysterious ways, since that plant is ready to rock, already legal, outside, and it is growing wild from that cannabis sativa family. Anyway, 7 years in this business, and I never thought I would be an amateur botanist and definitely not a professional. Well, that'll do it for another edition of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I want to give a special healing vibe wish to Jeff Aker, our master gardener in Florida. He was in a bad car accident a few weeks ago, and we just want to make sure from everybody here at the Cannabis Coast to Coast News team, we wish you the very best, a quick healing, and get back to it. And hey, Jeff, check out trema, will you? Because if you could get cannabidiol, CBD, out of it, that could be a whole new ball game down in Florida. Anyway, that'll do it. Remember, it is indeed a whole new world of weed out there, so consume it responsibly. And yes, Elena Pinto will definitely be back next week. Have a good one, and congratulations to the Eagles for beating those Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 to win a Super Bowl and keep the Chiefs from getting to that three-peat, which makes all New England Patriots fans very happy. Have a good week, everybody.
I think I messed up. Did you know there's a place that covers all the cannabis news you need? Welcome to Pro Cannabis Media, your go-to for all things cannabis. PCM is the CNBC of weed, bringing you the latest news and talk shows with a twist. We've got 16 state correspondents and multimedia journalists from around the US and Canada.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Jones with Be Green Distribution with the Missouri Cannabis Report.
I'm Karen Black from Greenfinger Consulting with the Arizona Cannabis Report.
I'm Amie Carter from Michigan Weedsters.
Andrew Behringer here reporting from Washington, D.C.
Debbie Fazy with the Canadian Toke of the Week.
It all started back in 2018 when founder Jimmy Young kicked off the In the Weeds podcast. His mission? Documenting the fight to end cannabis prohibition. Fast forward to today, and we've got Cannabis Coast to Coast with Elena Pinto, delivering the nation's only TV-style cannabis news show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Cannabis Coast to Coast, PCM TV's weekly roundup of industry news from California to New York. I'm Elena Pinto.
As of August 2024, PCM has racked up over 1.2 million views and 14.5 million impressions on our YouTube channel. With 15,000 subscribers and growing, our reach is spreading like wildfire. PCM's website, YouTube, Rumble, Discord, Roku, Twitch, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and even our very own PCM TV app. Get your cannabis news fix with Pro Cannabis Media. We're here to keep you informed and entertained. Stay tuned and stay lifted.